Hello, 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 and welcome, adventurers. Today we're going to be talking about another one of my gauntlets, the Gauntlet of Favored Wind. This one is really ideal for a ranged character, so this is probably one of my more focused gauntlets that isn't the best in everybody's hands, but is still pretty good. It gives movement speeds and range increases and increases your chance to hit with attacks, stuff like that. And eventually gives you a couple of cool powers. But yeah, it is. I will admit, it's one of my more mild gauntlets, but it is still a fun gauntlet. So without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? All right, let's make big me disappear, little me appear, and let's bring up Gauntlet of Favored Wind. When you put this gauntlet on, 5 lengthy leaves sprout out from it and wrap around your arm, causing your skin to start to blend in with your surroundings. You feel an unsettling detachment from the world, as if it were weightless and about to fly away into the wind, but only for a moment. So starting off, you gain an ability called Guiding Wind, which is you gain +1 to all forms of range attacks. Now, this is really up to your GM's interpretation, or up to the GM's interpretation. But for me, I've always done it where anytime you had to make an attack roll, and it was at range, this technically classifies. So any spells that were attack rolls at range, any actual attack rolls with like a bow or a gun or something like that, this gives a bonus to it. Level 2, you gain +2 to stealth and fly, and your personal weight is cut in half, rounded down. You are suddenly extremely light, and you're getting a bonus to your stealth checks and your fly checks because you're starting to blend in a little bit, and you're much better at guiding yourself. Now, fly skill isn't probably going to be that big of a deal early on, seeing as how all the fly spells are usually quite later on in level. But just in case you end up getting a hold of a device, or you gliding or something like that, it is a bonus. Level 3, you gain Shielding Current. You gain a +1 deflection bonus to AC. So this is the wind essentially deflecting off attacks from you. Level 4, you gain Storm Strike. Weapons in your main hand gain the Shock special ability. Level 5, your Guiding Wind gains an additional 10 feet to all forms of range attacks. So it's not much, but it could be because you take an attack penalty beyond your first range increment. Well, this is increasing your first range increment, which is essentially increasing your overall range by increasing all of the range increments afterwards. This is a great way to build, if you're going to build, if you're playing a sniper. This is a really good ability. If you're just a melee character who just throws weapons, you can now throw weapons much farther than normal. But yeah, it's a minor ability, but it does add up later on. Level 6, you gain a +4 to stealth and fly instead of a +2. And you gain an ability called Wind Beneath Your Step. You gain an additional 10 feet to your base movement speed. This is a really cool ability. If you're playing a monk or a barbarian, it stacks with those abilities, so you end up being able to move significantly fast, and it's going to increase even further. Level 7, you gain an additional to your Shielding Current, which is you gain 5 energy resistance versus electricity. So yeah, this is really great ability when facing down electrical opponents, whether it be wind elementals or casters using lightning bolt or chain lightning or something like that, or shocking grasp. You now have a resistance to electricity. Level 8, you gain your Storm Strike changes to weapons in your main hand and offhand now gain the shock special ability. And I would treat this, I didn't write it down, but I would treat this like my previous gauntlets, where it stacks if you use a two-handed weapon. Next is level 9, which is +2 now to all forms of range attacks, and your energy resistance increases to 10 versus electricity. At level 10, you gain as a cloud, and once per day for every 2 levels you possess, you gain the ability to take flight as the spell fly. Character level equals caster level. So yeah, this is now, you are now level 10, able to fly. If you didn't figure out how to fly before level 10, you now are able to fly off the gauntlet, and you can do it starting off 5 times per day at level 10. So yeah, it is, it's a unique little ability. You can now, melee characters, if you're having a hard time catching up, you can fly. If you're playing a ranged character, you can probably fly into the air to get away from all the melee opponents and be able to rain hell down onto them with your spells or your range attacks. Level 11, you gain an additional 20 feet to all forms of range attacks, and your deflection bonus increases to 2. So yeah, just like I said, these bonuses are going to be increasing. Level 12, you gain your Storm Strike now changes so that way weapons in your offhand gain the Shock special ability. Weapons in the main hand gain Shocking Burst special ability. Level 13, you gain your bonus to all forms of range attacks increases to a 3, and your energy resistance increases to a 15 versus electricity. Level 14, you gain a +8 to stealth and fly, and your wind beneath your step speed increases to 20 feet, increase to your base movement speed. Level 15, your additional range attack range increases to 30 feet. You gain a +3 deflection bonus to your AC. Level 16, your Storm Strike changes so that way weapons in both the main hand and the offhand both gain Shocking Burst. Level 17, you gain a +4 to all forms of range attacks, and your energy resistance increases to 20. Level 18, your stealth and fly increases to +10, and your movement speed increases to 30 feet. Level 19, your additional range is increased by 40 feet, and your deflection bonus is increased by 4 now. And finally, at level 20, your bonus to all range attacks increases to +5. Your additional range on range attacks increases to 50 feet. Your stealth and fly increases to +12. You gain a +5 deflection bonus to your AC. Your energy resistance increases to 25. Your base movement speed increases by 40 feet. And you gain the ability One with the Wind. Once per day for every 2 levels you possess, you may take the form of an air elemental as if using the spell Elemental Body 4. When in this form, you also gain the use of the spells Lightning Bolt at the cost of 1 minute and Chain Lightning at the cost of 2 minutes off the duration of Elemental Body 4. Your character level is your caster level for this spell, for all intents and purposes. And yeah, this is the Gauntlet of Guiding Wind. It was one of my shorter gauntlets. It is a little bit more mild compared to my previous gauntlets, but it's still a pretty big thing. If you are essentially playing a range character, it is perfect for you. If you're playing a melee character, it just makes it so that way your range options are better. You have better movement, you have a resistance to electricity, and you are and you have a deflection bonus to your AC, which is good no matter what your melee or range. And being able to fly and being able to turn into an elemental is really good no matter what you are. But like I said, if you're just playing a melee character and you're just throwing daggers or throwing axes, your speed at the end of this increases by 50 feet, which I think default is like 10 feet for throwing weapons, except for the spear, which I think, or javelin or spear, which I think is 30. So think about it, you're able to throw things 60 feet. That's a pretty big deal. That's a really far range that you can just chuck things down range. But you also get 40 feet to movement speed, so you're able to essentially run around circles around your opponents. You're able to catch up to almost any situation. You're able to run away from any situation. And yeah, it is just a cool little gauntlet based off of favored wind, based off of the wind being your bonus, being your defense, your offense, and your resistances. And not to forget, you're also starting to camouflage a little bit, which is why you have a bonus to stealth and fly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this gauntlet. Remember that the links to all these gauntlets are in the description of the video in case you're looking for them. And like I said, if you guys are enjoying this, if you guys have ideas for how to change the gauntlets, go ahead, let me know in the comments. Come talk to me in a stream. Either one works. I'd love to talk about it either way. And otherwise, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are looking forward to more gauntlets. We still have more to come. I hope you're looking forward to my other videos this month, and I hope you guys have a safe adventure. Bye.